We were two foreigners living here in Finland since quite a while, and we decided to go a bit beyond the typical Finnish stereotypes. Here our first production meeting.
I think they commit suicide like lemmings.
Really? There's so many stereotypes around about Finnish people, but I don't know if they're really true.
Stereotypes?
It's dark all year around, and there are polar bears wandering around, and people are silent all the time, and they drink a lot. And
We have to go away from the stereotypes, from the typical stereotypes. We have to rewind the stuff. Let's try to find it
let's
out.
find out about the Finnish mentality, how it really is.
Well, we continued with our discussion, positive points, negative points, and all the other nice things, got emotional, and all the things what normally the foreigners discussing about Finnish people were discussed through. But is it really true? At first we have to think a bit. We are living here since quite some time, we're very welcomed, sometimes of course not. But does it affect us? How can we find a little bit more out about the Finnish culture? There's always a difference when you discuss about the culture from the foreigner viewpoint, because you actually don't even know the other culture. But within this documentary, VIEWPOINT, one thing is clear. Finland is a huge country. If you put it on the map of Europe, it's from Berlin to Rome, and its capital, it's Helsinki. There are no 7 hills. There are only 70 million of trees. But where are all the people living? We could visit a city like Tampere, or the Finnish temples of sports, where we could discuss with some sportsmen what they think. We could even travel to the north, up to Lapland, up to the North Cap, to see what's going on there, what the culture is different there. Well, we could even ask some reindeers what they think about. And maybe there are even some terrorists in Finland. One thing is clear, Finnish landscape is breathtaking. It's very peaceful, very quiet. But maybe that's the reason why Finnish people drink so much or go to the sauna. Well, sometimes the darkness goes a bit too heavy. Finnish people like to drink coffee. Well, some people say that your mind turns around if you're living for longer here. Well, let's ask some interviews from some people. One thing is clear. If you search for stress, hectic, then you're definitely at the wrong place. Not only me was thinking about this, also Christian was sitting long times at lakes and was thinking about these topics. Well, but I'm sometimes not sure about what he was really thinking. But let's start to discover. Our next travel took us to the religious temples and centers of Finnish people. For millions, it's a pilgrim which they do each year to pray to their gods. And their priests, they're not just simply standing there and praying all their prayers. No, they take action and jump into the devil deepness. These priests survived this religious ceremony, but some of the most strong priests give up their lives to satisfy the Finnish winter god. And the people are shouting, yes, the winter god is satisfied, winter is over, Vapo, alcohol, beer, parties. We definitely have to speak to such a priest. This priest here is a guest priest from Japan. And we have to ask him about the most secret word in Finnish religion. which is called sisu. It's even good that this priest is from Japan, because sisu might have even something to do with some Japanese food. I had even to put out my rusty Japanese, but for you, that you can understand everything, we put subtitles.
Please ask him what he thinks about Finland, because we are making a documentary about Finland and...
Now we found out that sisu has nothing to do with sushi, but let's ask from the audience.
What is sisu?
What? Sisu? Sisu. Is it a Finnish word?
What does it mean?
No idea. What does
I
it
don't
mean?
study Finnish, so I don't know either.
How does it sound like? How does this word sound like?
Success. Like success. Like stupid. Like pair of scissors. Like sister.
If sisu means success, we need to ask a successful priest who survived all the jumps, and he must be very successful. He has a lot of cars, fast cars, and gets a lot of gold.
Sisu. How can I say? In English, it's I don't know what is in English. If you feel strong and something like that. If you feel strong, then you have a sisu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are a good example for being a sisu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also his friends, they seem to be knowing a lot about sisu.
Sisu is like a guts, you know. So I don't know how to explain it. You know. It is including courage and guts and feeling that way you don't give up. So I think a lot of different sports you need that guts feeling. You have to keep going. You know, not to, even you feel like you're losing. You just have to push.
Sisu. I think for me it means strong spirit, Finnish spirit.
And Finnish people must have guts. They were building a little state where people were driving fast cars and even quite successful in doing so. They survived the Finnish winters with temperatures up to minus 40 degrees Celsius and survived the saunas in plus 120 degrees Celsius. And of course, they were succeeding in winter wars as well in minus 40 degrees. They built phones without wires and have the best educational system, and that needs guts. And the good thing that Finns don't talk about it. They don't run around and say I'm the best, fastest and whatever. They just keep peaceful and just enjoy the success in silence. That maybe even makes Finnish people very sympathetic, because there are too many people just running around and saying I'm the best, strongest and whatever. But in Finland, somehow everybody is equal. But how does it affect the Finnish interaction? How do people, or especially how do foreigners see how people interact here in Finland? Let's go to make some interviews. And we met Josh in Tampere.
I expect it to be cold. I expect the people to be a lot more friendly, but they are not very friendly at all. They're a very closed society. I expected it to be more liberal than I see here at the moment. It seems very, very conservative. People seem very conservative. They seem to be to themselves. The biggest thing I noticed.
A bit about the background of Josh. Josh is sociology student. They are criticizing everything about the society. But let's ask some Finnish people what they think about it.
I mean, I guess it just depends on a person. I don't know.
But I think Finns in general are more preserved and, or reserved, I guess I should say, and they keep it all inside most of the time.
So we needed to get a more objective picture. So we asked Lily.
It's not overcrowded, so people still have their own territory, their own space. They can express themselves, and they do through this closeness to nature. It's interesting because, yeah, I would think that everything goes alongside, parallel to nature. Nature is peaceful and quiet, and people are like acting in the same way somehow. I would say there is less violence. Maybe it is because people remain close to nature, but also because there are not so many people in this country.
Of course, the peacefulness and peace, what we have here in Finland, especially in north of Finland, where I come from, and that you can be close to the nature.
Yeah, when you see them in the halls of this building, they don't say hello. Sometimes they say hey, occasionally, but that's about as far as it goes. They just keep to themselves, I think, really quiet. The cafeteria, for how many people that are in there, it might be like 500 people or 300 people in the cafeteria. There's just not very much noise. As you go to Helsinki or any of these places in the subway systems, it's not noisy. If it was in the US, it would be.
People are considerate about how other people perceive what they are doing in a way that they don't want to disturb others. This is one of my perceptions. And also they are kind of shy. This is true. I would say shy people, and everything goes along the climate, Everything is kind of slower and more relaxed here. You can definitely feel that thing.
Well, Finnish people are pretty shy, and maybe they are, they have a good sense of humor, and but sometimes they just want to be on their own and inside their homes.
I guess people really are shy, but also they are very considerate to each others, and they don't want to disturb their neighbors. In different countries in Europe, we are very much more loud and expressive, And here it's I would say the first thing that comes to my mind about Finnish people are honesty and respect. About other people, being very considerate about what other people, not what about other people might think about themselves, but when Finnish people act or do something, they might be considerate about what.
If you live in the north and you then come here to the south, you feel that everybody's in hurry here, and so it's I don't think that the people are different in north and in the south, but it's a little bit different lifestyle.
I think not everybody, of course, is going to be that individualistic, that to themselves, but it's in the States, you would be invited to a lot of parties, Finnish or American parties where you go to their house and things like that. I've never been invited to anybody's house, Finnish house. I don't even know how they work, really.
Yeah.
I've had experiences with people throwing things out of the buildings, and they don't really care that you're throwing stuff at them. That's what I've noticed, is
one exchange student which we were interviewing here, he said, if you throw something out of the window, Finnish people don't react. Is this true? If something falls now beside you from a window, what would you do?
Well, I think maybe I wonder a little bit what happened, but I just leave it behind because it would be a better way to do.
Also, I think Finns are really nice people. They take you in pretty quickly, and you can make really good friends fast. we are serious people, so we study hard. We have a really good schooling system. And we work hard and we party hard. In a nutshell.
So we found out that Finnish people don't want to disturb each other. They are considerate. As well as they are quite honest, so they don't lie to each other. And everything is somehow arranged to the Finnish climate, to the nature, the slowness and so on. As well as Finnish people are quite shy. And of course, we had to test if Finnish people really don't react if you throw something out of the window. We took a very delicious magazine. Then we had to find a nice location where to dispatch our magazine. It would be impossible for somebody not to react emotionally to our magazine. Of course, Finland is quite rarely populated, so we needed to wait a long time until somebody passed by. But for you, we put it together and cut down the time breaks. So now somebody was coming. Let's see how they react. We saw no reaction, and again and again and again. And we saw no reaction. Was just true. And this time, bit of a reaction. And again, and no reaction at all. Was just correct. And what do we see now? No reaction, she was told. And that was a little editing mistake. Okay, and again. And there was no reaction. Was Josh right? And the first reaction. So Finns seem to react if you throw something out of the window. And here a very strong reaction. And what do we see here? No reaction, but he was foreigner. And next. And strong reaction. They were even looking from where it's coming from. And now the next time. And what happened? We saw somebody was stealing the magazine. We needed to get him on picture. Who was taking our magazine? Here's the guy. Let's zoom. Zoom. And he feels a bit guilty. Yes. And actually, who takes such a dirty magazine, which you even don't know who had it in their hands? Later on we should discover it was not a Finn, it was a foreigner.
And I can understand living here, the suicide, why it's so high. Because I almost feel like killing myself at points too, because it's so bad. And I don't mean like I would kill myself. I mean like, I need to get out of here really, because
Finland depressed you?
very depressing place. All their songs are in minor. Most of their songs that they play are in minor. Who does that to the people already killing themselves at a high rate? Who does that? You have their, it's just got to be part of their culture. But I really don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. I hate to sound so down, on it, but really it's not the best. I thought it was going to be like, oh, this is going to be the greatest place in the world to go. It's going to be a welfare state. The people will be taken care of and happy, and they're going to want to talk to me, but they're not. They're not happy. They're not. I don't know if they're happy. You can't really judge if people are happy, but they don't seem like very happy people. They just want to get through their day, go home, and get drunk. I think is.
Sorry for this disturbing scene, but unfortunately we did not find that the stereotype that Finnish commit suicide is wrong. However, Josh was not in all points right. Finnish people are not of such a sad, depressive, melancholic nature. Let's take a look at the summer hobbies. Let's take the hobby car driving. For example, in Vasa each year the airstrip is reserved for racing there with the private car. And of course there is no real winner there. Each one can set his own time limit where he wants to come close to. And he is then winner the closer he gets to his time limit. And let's take a look at another Finnish curiosity. It's called the wife carrying competition. Finnish men have to carry their wives on their back and compete with other men how fast they get their wife to the goal. However, the aim of this competition is to have fun, to enjoy friendship and social contacts. So it seems Finnish people cannot not be the antisocial types if they have invented such competition. Today, the wife carrying competition is a worldwide sport event and it's carried out in many different cities. And its starting point was Sonkajärvi, a city in the center of Finland. Let's take another look at strange Finnish habits. For example, in Tampere, each year students get baptized. They have to survive a dip into the freezing cold water of the Tampere river. Of course, afterwards they go into a sauna. It seems that all Finnish people are definitely not of such a sad nature like described by Josh. Well, and of course, Finns are famous for drinking. So for example, they take boats between Helsinki and Tallinn or Turku and Stockholm and they drink. Maybe what some foreigners don't understand, you have to approach Finnish people in the correct way. They are also fun-loving and humorous people, which also can enjoy this or that joke. Here we have an example.
He wants to know if you wax your ski with Bavarian beer because you jump so far.
I don't know, we have a serviceman who waxed my skis and I don't know what did he do.
So is there some Bavarian beer inside that you can jump so far?
Maybe, yeah.
But there are many reasons why I wanted to come here. It's really long to explain in such a short time. But there is nature and probably the general culture of the people and people's behavior, I guess, also, that I really like and appreciate.
Of course, we try to discover the secrets of a Finnish sauna. If you've never been in a sauna, drinking with a Finn, you will never know the real culture. And they spend hours in the sauna. And hours and hours. Sauna is a special place. It's clear, you sit there almost naked and you cannot hide that something is there or there is something to less there. So, it's said that each important business meeting or business decision has been made in a sauna. And there are very less civilized countries which have a similar dome where you meet and discuss. And of course, after hours sitting in the sauna, you get out, and jump into a cold, frozen lake. As next, we still had to try the peace in the forest thing, so we went to a cottage in the middle of nowhere. And you would think that you would be able to stay peaceful in the forest without any disturbances. But
They have even rules for the cottage here. Everywhere rules. There are only rules for the cottage here, 2 pages.
Finland has many rules, and Finnish people follow them very strictly. If you speed, the speeding fines can range up to 300,000 euros. You pay in percentage of your salary. If you park wrong, it can cost you up to 40 euros. However, the rule system for social life can be also devastating. For having one beer late night, you need to queue at least for 3 times. 1 time in a queue in front of the bar, 1 time in a queue to give your code, and 1 time in a queue for the beer.
There's nothing, you hear nothing.
Just some stupid birds.
It's really too peaceful.
However, what do Finnish people do in the forest? Some people say that they perform very strange rituals there and dance around bonfires.
I can understand.
Finns like to pick up all kinds of things from the forest, like the wild Finnish forest cucumber, which got imported from Spain.
Okay.
It's a time to conclude this documentary. Okay, Finnish people are quite intelligent people. Maybe they are not the one which are the most socializing people, which I have even doubts that it's true. But you see all the fun events which are taking place in these countries, like the wife carrying competition, like the mobile phone ride throwing, long sitting in a sauna, and so on and so on and so on. But you can be sure, in this country you have your peace. You have a little circle around you and nobody will be touching this circle. Many foreigners which are coming here make their problems with the darkness and coldness to the Finnish culture or Finnish people directly, which is not true. For this now, let us enjoy